What's good? Welcome to part 6 of the Mega Man X2 Weapon Master run, where the entire arsenal is put to work as it steadily becomes available. Stay tuned for commentary after the gameplay. The sixth special weapon we've acquired is the Magnet Mine. This is an interesting weapon, but I'll be completely frank. It's underwhelming compared to the 5 weapons before it. Don't misinterpret that as the weapon's trash. Its mileage varies based on the type of player you are. If you're a quick-paced player, you'll find little use for it when there's weapons like Strike Chain and Spin Wheel that clear the way effortlessly. While it packs a punch when it comes in contact with an enemy, you'll find that the slow nature of the weapon would only be a hindrance to your pacing. Again, there are situations where this isn't the case, as this run will showcase, but it's not friendly to speedsters for general use. If you're a more casual player, well, I've got some good news for you. Abuse this thing. You have my permission to do so. Setting mine traps on the ground, floor, ceilings, or walls can be a great way to control your environment and kill enemies that are mobile enough to be a nuisance. Hell, just giving an enemy a point-blank shot to the face is at least snappy enough to get you out of a pinch immediately. The charged black hole is where it gets especially useful for a casual pace. Other than its swallowing whatever it touches, if said enemy isn't immune, it can still be freely moved up and down just like the regular mine. If your screen is littered with projectiles, it'll even absorb all of those shots. Just be careful to get out of the directions of the projectiles that are getting sucked in, because you could still get hit as the black hole yanks them in. But again, the sluggishness of it is unappealing for you speedy peeps out there, and even for hybrid players like myself. As much as I try not to put too much emphasis on speed with my own gameplay, even I can be a bit impatient when waiting on this thing, knowing that other weapons could do what I want in a snappier and more stylistic fashion. But in the end, Magnet Mine's usefulness varies on what you're personally looking for. Don't use my criteria, or anyone else's for that matter, to determine if you like it, but at the very least, it's the perfect tool to bully Crystal Snail. I cannot wait for the next video, and especially the boss rush rematch. If this video's been entertaining or helpful thus far, I'd appreciate it if you boop the like button. That one little click will let YouTube know that you enjoyed, and it will help spread this video to the correct audience. It figures I disconnect the one time I decide to do this with the freaking wire. And why here, of all places? Shit. Note to self, never ditch the Bluetooth. Oh no, more pettiness from me. What a twist.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Oh, god damn it.
Let's swap.
Another one of those stages that don't have a lot of engagement with the enemies, but it's still fun to traverse nonetheless. While there are more of them compared to Flame Stag, many will be naturally skipped due to their awkward placement and the level design being the way it is, which is mostly platforming, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Let's go over the alarms first. They're really just there to avoid triggering the bleckers on the ceilings, and in the midpoint section, running into one increases the speed of the falling blocks in the following room. I honestly just didn't care about triggering them in the beginning because it's whatever. And that meant I could have at least fought something other than the barrier attackers. Oh, I might as well talk about the mini-boss. If you remembered the on-screen notification, yes, I missed the one-shot kill with the strike chain. And given that I'm not intentionally speedrunning for best time or anything like that, it's one of those rare moments where I could have been asked to be nitpicky. You can insta-kill this mini-boss with the charged strike chain. The timing's tricky though, because you have to be at a specific angle and release it slightly before landing from the peak of your jump. I'm not going to BS you and pretend to know why this works the way it does, other than charged strike chain is deceptively a multi-hit attack, but given mini-bosses don't have iframes, that's what I'm going to assume and move on. Here's the obligatory segment to support our remixers today. Well, now we've got a new face here this time, Zero Janitor, who remixes a broad range of music in various styles. Their X2 remix of Get the Punk Out is hands down the best X-style remix of that song that I've heard, and I'll die on that hill. They're a similar case of Mega SFC and plenty others who mix extremely well, yet their follower count does not reflect on that accurately. They deserve much more, so please give Zero Janitor some love if you're interested in their content. Alright, so Magna Centipede. Yeah, I don't have Silk Shot, so of course this is going to be a Buster only fight. He's partially weak to strike chain, but again, just like Flame Stag, it's just 2 points of damage, and you're better off just using a Buster because the chain boringly drags the battle out. Anyway, this dude can be actually kinda tricky. He's not hard, just sporadic. He can be an absolute troll with his teleportation though. He can repeatedly do them until he feels like stopping, or just be far away from you enough to pull off some shenanigans that are annoying to deal with, such as reeling you in to inject poison. If you don't have a good mash finger to free yourself, you're getting the ick. You'll get out just fine in the beginning, but as the fight drags out and his health lowers, it'll be harder to free yourself, but it's not impossible. That's why it's safest to just stay centered, because he'll never teleport in the center of the stage, just the 4 corners. Or you can adopt my strat and stick to the rightmost wall, or you can stick to the left, it really doesn't matter, because his AI will attempt to stay as close to you as possible, though he will occasionally reappear elsewhere just to screw with you. You can use this to your advantage and fire off quicker double shots from sliding off the wall. This honestly isn't my best take by fighting him, but trust me, the boss rush will make up for it. He's honestly, in my opinion, the hardest of the 8 Mavericks, but that's not really saying much. All of these guys are fodder at the end of the day. We'll wrap it up here for today. Check out my Mega Man X4 Weapon Master series, which will be in the end card somewhere on screen. Otherwise, check out my playlist page from our challenge runs, and stay chill, y'all.